All right, we back at it. Homegrown Radio. Chuck Dizzle, DJ Head.
West Coast.
We got some of the homegrown homies here, man. We were just talking off air. As long as we've supported these cats from formerly being known as Futuristiks.
Yeah.
This is their first time coming to Homegrown Radio, man. Welcome to the show. All right, we got Mike and Keys, man, producers extraordinaire. What's going on, man?
Glad to
Young
be here.
legends.
Money Mike J. Keys, what's the word?
Man, what's up, man?
What's going on?
We happy to be here with our, brothers.
I'm happy that y'all are here too. I want to first off, I want to congratulate y'all on a lot of success. I don't know if you remember, but I remember meeting y'all at 1500 Studio in Inglewood, I think. And I was like, when y'all was just like, I don't know what y'all was working on, but I just remember like, man, they was giving you props. Like, these are young dudes, this and that, 1500. And Nip was working on something. I forgot what he was working on. But I remember from then until now to see like how many young producers look up to y'all, how much the industry give y'all props. You know what I'm saying? How many plaques y'all got, like all y'all accolades and shit like that. Just, publicly you want to give y'all flowers. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I appreciate that for real.
Now, for the folks that do not know, this is the first introduction for some of the folks right here, man. So where was that journey at? I mean, let's talk about the futuristic days, and then obviously going into Mike and Keys. So what is the story? The journey began for Mike and Keys.
I would say the journey began probably like 2008, and I felt like our introduction to like the LA music scene would have to be Scheme.
Yeah.
He was the first person to introduce us to everybody in LA. Like a lot of people think, we were from LA.
Right.
Because
which was surprising too.
We had a studio with Scheme and he introduced us to everybody, the up and coming and new artists in LA. So we was able to meet everybody through them, and that was like, I feel like the start of our career.
So where are you guys from? For folks that don't know.
I'm Keys. I'm originally from Sacramento, California.
Okay.
And I'm originally from Hammond, Louisiana, but back and forth, California, Louisiana.
Yeah.
I went to high school in Louisiana and California.
How did y'all end up linking up? Because like that's a lot of distance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Were y'all MySpace friends and shit?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's actually how we met. Was MySpace.
Word.
Yeah. Because at the time, people would put their music on MySpace to like, show what they did. So that's how I found out about Keys, because he had music on his MySpace.
So you reached out to him. Was it because was it beats? Was it raps? Like what made you send that message to Keys to Keys to say, yo, what's up? Let's link, let's work, let's do whatever.
Well, I had a friend in college who was like always went and searched for like producers, new producers from like overseas and like all over the place. And he was like, yo, I went on this website called rockbattle.com. There's this producer named Jay Keys on there. You should go check his beats out. Wow.
Damn.
And that's kind of how we met.
You were in Louisiana at the time?
I was going to school in Fresno.
Got you. Okay.
So what was you doing, Keys? You were just chilling and making music, and then got a random message from some weirdo, or like how, what happened?
Nah, I mean, I always used to post beats, instrumentals on my MySpace, and I also would enter in like contests. Like Rock Wilder had a site called Rock Battle.
Shout out to the Rock Wilder.
Yeah. So I would always post beats on there and sell beats. I was getting
your chip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was cool, just getting the reaction from other people, and they was like, man, your beats is hard. And that's how I met Mike and them. So we actually knew mutual people too, so we had a lot in common.
So when he reached out to you, did you you getting your money at that point? Did you say, all right, well, here's the fee, or was it like, yeah, let's collab, let's build? Or did he hit you with the fee early on?
Yeah, well, what's crazy at the time? This is funny. He had a manager, so he didn't respond.
Hey man, holla at so and so.
Yeah, his manager was like, "Who is this?"
I wasn't running the MySpace though. That wasn't me.
So, but
sure.
Are you sure it was his manager? You sure?
I mean, yeah, it was.
You met him later on. Or you met the manager?
Yeah, we ended up actually meeting face to face, actually out here in LA. Got it. And that's kind of like how we started.
But whose idea was it to become a team?
Well, there was a producer in the group originally. His name is Phonics. And Phonics is the original member of the Futuristiks. He's the one that introduced us to everybody, beginning stages of LA, like before we met Scheme, he was the one that was producing for Nipsey early. So he introduced us to everybody. So we always was like, if you listen to the name, the Futuristiks, that's come from because we wanted to be like the Stylistics, like a group. Like we got to come in different. So that came from Phonics originally.
Got you.
So when y'all, so did Keys, so Phonics was the Beyonce and y'all kicked the Beyonce out, is what you're saying?
Damn.
Nah.
So how did it happen?
Nah, to be honest with you, I mean, we were young guys and we was so excited to just be together. We didn't understand no business, the music industry, and we still love each other and brothers to this day. But at the time, it didn't work. Right. You know what I'm saying? But that was the best thing we ever did, was coming together and becoming a group.
Yeah, I mean, because that's low key how I met you guys. It was through producer battles, through producer showcase. Shout out to homegirl KG. Like I've seen you guys coming up through the ranks of that. And the thing that I respected about you guys is that while you were making a name for yourselves at the time, you were still putting out that information and helping people out come up. Providing the information with other artists and other producers and willing to collab. It wasn't like you were better than anybody at the same time. Everybody was working together, so you got to be saluted with that as well.
Nah, sure.
Now, so what was the first placement? What was the first thing that said, okay, we're solidified, we're making some noise as a group?
When we did the 50 Cent song on the Before I Self Destruct, came out like 2009.
Damn, that's a hell of a start. Though. That's a hell of a start. 50.
That when that happened, we was like, oh, it's serious now. Like we can actually. At that time, 50 Cent was the highest, level of rap music at that time. So in our mind, we was like, if we working with 50 Cent, we should be able to work with anybody.
Right.
Now, Keys, you said you was just making beats and selling them online or whatever you could do, right? Was it always your intention to like do that kind of shit, like do that level of business as far as working with somebody like 50 Cent, or were you just, because it seemed like you was getting money, you was content?
I actually wasn't content. I wanted to come to LA and work, because I know, this is the entertainment capital of the world. So I know I got to build with people and, talk. And I can't just, just sit at the house and make beats all day. I can't do that. So Mike was like, you should come out to San Diego. He was in Dago in 2009. I actually met Phonics first.
Gotcha.
He introduced me to Lawrence from 1500 and Mars. So when I did that, I was like, yeah, I got to come to LA because this is where everything's at.
So that's interesting, because Mike said he was back and forth from Louisiana. You just kind of packed your shit and moved out here?
So I moved when I dropped out of college. I moved. My roommate was from San Diego, so I moved to San Diego, and that's like how we kind of started the camaraderie, as a group. And so I called Keys one day and I was like, bro, what are you doing? He was like, I'm just at my mom's house making music. I said, you should move to San Diego for temporary, and then we're going to move to LA. And that's how we started the whole.
So you moved to San Diego?
Yeah,
he left
and didn't come back. Didn't go back to SAC.
Wait. How do you just move to San Diego? Like, you was making money enough to where you can do that? Or
I only had like $800 in my pocket, so I just took a leap of faith and was just like,
I told
I'm
him
gonna make it happen.
I was like, I literally told Keys, I remember this day. I was like, man, I can't tell you what's gonna happen, but just know that I got a place for you to stay, and we gonna be able to eat. And if you can do that, then, and I remember Keys leaving at 5 a.m. in the morning.
Was this prior to the 50 Cent placement or after?
This was before.
Yeah, this was before.
So when fast forward to that, you like, see, nigga, I told you.
Yeah.
This is the first step. It's working.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned Scheme, man. Obviously we'll get into the different collaborations of people that you work with. But one thing that I did notice, was that the first artist that you guys kind of worked in with multiple tracks on a particular project? Or was that like, why was Scheme the great introduction between you guys in LA and, working like that?
Well, our old manager, Angelo Sanders, he worked at Aftermath and for Dr. Dre. He was the person that really introduced us to all the new artists. So he was like, yo, I like Scheme. He was naming all the new artists in LA that he felt had potential, and Scheme was one of them. So we ended up getting a studio with Scheme. And that's kind of how the energy started.
Got you. So it was, as far as like helping create that body of work, was it just, hey, let's cook up, let's collab, or was it like, yo, we'll help you with your project? Like, was that like kind of help that construction as far as Schemes project at the time?
Well, we worked on the statement was Scheme's first mixtape / project. So, like he mentioned, Angelo Sanders, he A&R'd that.
Got it.
And at the same time, he was our manager. So
it just was plug and play.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. Cool.
And when you finally, now I want to fast forward to when I met you guys working. You guys were already pretty much working with 1500 at that point. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, how did you guys? Because there was a third member. When did that happen? And then how far was the time period when you decided to change your name?
We changed our name in, I want to say 2014, right?
Yeah, we changed our name in 2014. And you're saying as far as like when we started,
it was 3 of y'all.
Yeah,
and then
actually no, it was 7 of us.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah, it was.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah. See, originally when we moved to LA, we wanted to be like 1500.
Gotcha.
It was a group.
Yeah. So you needed all these
in our
instruments.
mind, we like, man, we gonna be a group.
Same thing. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that was us kind of showing love like to 1500.
Yeah.
Like this is a movement that we never seen before. We want to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that was our thought process in that. And then, in a group, in any group, everybody has their opinions and ideas, and it just ended up being me and Keys. But everybody, all of us, still a family.
Right.
So
then after it just became y'all two, you guys changed the name immediately, or was that a conversation? Like,
nah, the reason we changed our name is because of legal issues. There was another group called the Futuristiks,
Gotcha.
but they spelled it with a C, and we spelled ours with a K.
Gotcha.
But a lot of people spelled it with a C.
Right.
Yeah.
So it confused people when it was time to work with us.
Got it.
So they didn't know who they was working with.
Who I write this check out to? Like,
Yeah.
well, no, let's the K.
Yeah.
Let's get
And
to
that
the
was
K.
a hard thing for us to do. Changing our name was probably the hardest thing we have to do, because once you've established something that people know you as, and then working and starting, it was like literally starting over. But we had to do it.
What was the biggest lesson that you learned within that though? That press and reset.
That we could start over, like that. It's in us, like
Gives you that confidence.
Yeah, because starting over as a producer is a difficult thing to do, because people, it's a name game. So changing your name, we went through like a good 2-3 year period of time where people didn't know that we was the Futuristiks, but they, they're like, they have a feeling, but they don't know.
Right.
So once we started working with Nip, I think that changed.
Got it.
Yeah.
Do you now who decided on Mike and Keys?
I mean, everybody kind of organically called us that. Like,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nip, T-Fly, everybody was calling us Mike and Keys when we were the Futuristiks. So,
Right.
So we was just like, it's natural.
That
So
fits, that works.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question. Now, this is going to be, and I mean, you guys can answer individually, okay? And I'll start with you, Keys, because the actual number and the time frame is like folklore out here in these streets.
Mm-hmm.
How long was Victory Lap in the works?
Man, I feel like ever since we first started working with Nip,
What
was
year?
doing
How many years? What year?
Nip was talking about Victory Lap before we even worked on Crenshaw.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that had to have been like 2012, 2011, because I remember he was doing commercials, like the albums coming out and
Right,
stuff.
right.
So that had to, I would say since like 2011.
2011.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Since 2011.
Because you hear all these numbers like, oh, Victory Lap been in the works for 10 years. Victory, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
but y'all was there. So
Yeah, that was a difficult thing for us, because people was like, what is y'all doing?
Mm.
It made it look like we wasn't working. Nip, because
Keep you in.
when we was working with him, we didn't understand what he was trying to do at first.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Until we got to the end period of it.
Right.
But at first we like, are you just, but
right.
now, and Head, no, he used to be at the studio with us. Like,
Facts.
when we understood Nip, we understood that he had a plan for everything. and he was trying to follow with the plan. We just didn't know the plan.
At what point do you understand that though? Like, because that's a long process to be working with somebody. Obviously, you know, he has some stature and, you know, he's making moves, dropping projects, and you guys are there helping, you know, facilitate the sound. But for you, when would you like, okay, we're all in, we dropping everything and really like honing in on this?
When we got a studio together. Because we had a studio with Nip in
What year?
2014 to 2017.
Wow.
And, you know, when you have a studio with somebody, that's like living with them. That's your, you know, it's your roommate.
Right.
So we learned a lot about Nip and from him working with music. So we just made a lot of adjustments working with him just because we was there. So we used to, you know, do little tricks and trades. You know, part of being a producer is you got to be a mastermind on tricking the artist to do certain things.
Facts.
So we had to learn that as we go.
Give me an example, like, because most people don't know the ins and outs of stuff like that. But like, what's one of those things where you had to kind of like?
I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
You know, we already had a relationship with you guys in Head, and I remember bringing Head to Nip. I'm like, look, Nip, Head has an opinion about the music, and he's kind of right.
Yeah.
But you should listen to him out.
Yeah.
And at first, you know, he was fighting the energy. Yeah. And then once he seen that Head was 100% serious, he listened. And I feel like that changed. Because I feel like to be a great artist, you have to be able to listen.
Sure.
And that was the change for that. You know what I'm saying? Because he had a plan, and then I remember us playing the music for Head, and he was like, "You're missing something." And we all sat back. Mind you, we ain't even at mixing or nothing yet. Right. These are just like the songs on the list, and our biggest song from the album is the song that we was missing. That's the last time that I checked. You know what I'm saying? So that's part of the producer thing is like, hey, Nip, listen, hear Head out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? This is not going to be your regular person giving his opinion. This is going to be a little different.
Yeah. I always wanted to know what that was like from y'all perspective. We never talked about it afterwards, but because I know I always made things weird, or not weird, but I definitely shook it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? During them sessions. But I always wanted to know from y'all perspective, was it annoying? Because I would come in the studio. I mean, you guys always welcomed me, right? It was always love. But I know for a fact, because I seen Bino in there when I would come in there. Yeah. Roddy was in there, Casey be in there, and it was like a community effort. You know what I'm saying? And I know when I come in the studio, it's like, oh, here he come. Here he come with all this honesty. But from y'all perspective as a producer, y'all, and I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember Nip saying something to the degree that y'all, between y'all and 15, got to touch everything on the album, right? That's correct, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, so being like I would say executive producers at that point of Nip's debut and his last album, what was y'all perspective on some? I don't want to say an outsider, but somebody who don't really. I'm not a part. I didn't grow from Crenshaw to this with y'all on the production side. But what was that like for y'all to be able to take a back seat to some, like me bringing my opinion in? It's like, hey, this is what I think. This is how I think you should move. This is what I think y'all should be. Y'all gotta make this nigga do this shit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think you need that. You need somebody from the outside to give their opinion because they're not inside with you. So they're like you're on radio all the time, so you have a different ear.
Right.
You need that ear if you're making an album. You need somebody from the outside to give their opinion.
And you gotta have strong skin in being great. So there's gonna be times people say things that you're gonna like and you're not gonna like. But the truth is the truth. So we never took it. That's why I was telling you, we never took it no way. We looked at it as, oh, you want us to be great. So it actually, that's one of the most licensed songs that we produced. So it worked. Yeah. So yeah, we never took it in no way. That's why I wanted Head to talk to Nip, because I felt like at that time, you know, when you're creating, you're so stuck in what you hear that you don't hear an outside opinion. And we were at a point to where we was like, we gonna do it like this. And I think that's the best that was the best advice that we got because that was the ending of the album.
Now, we're 4 years, or what 4 years from the album dropping. At the time, I know what our reactions were, right? Especially within the city, we thought about it. But while creating it, right before the masses heard it, did you guys know it was a classic?
I mean, yeah. While we was making it, you just know because it feel the energy, and we put so much work and effort into it. We just knew it. When you have a classic, it doesn't just happen immediately. Like it takes time for people to even catch on to what that is.
Right.
Like it's a feeling. You know what I mean? So
What about the other projects from like Crenshaw and like just all the projects that led up to that? Did it have a similar energy, or was it different? Was it?
I'd say the closest energy we had to that was Slauson Boy 2.
Yeah.
Because at that time, Nip didn't really have no music out between like 2014 to like 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, people was looking at us like, what y'all doing?
Yeah.
So that's why we went through a stage where we dropped a song every Monday and Marathon Mondays.
Got you.
Because that was basically like we're practicing. Do people like these songs?
Yeah.
Do they not? We didn't know. That was like I call it the appetizer before the album.
Got it.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned an artist has to be a good listener, but I would imagine that a producer has to be good. Producers have to be good listeners as well. When has it been flipped? And it doesn't have to. It could be Nip. It could be another artist that you worked with where they told you like, "Yo, trust me with this. Listen, this is what I want." Whether it's sonically or trying a different tempo, melody, whatever. Where you guys like, okay, I listened and actually it worked.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's like a marriage, low key. Like you just gotta listen to each other because you guys are both creating. So you have to, I don't know, you just gotta listen to each other, and because y'all both.
What about between you guys as far as what's that? Is there a compromise where you're like, okay, no, listen to me with this. I got you. This makes the most sense. Or how does that work between you guys as a duo?
I mean, I'm more the vocal person, but I understand the energy.
Yeah.
So if I know Keys is in a mode of create a crazy creative, I'm not gonna bother him.
Leave him alone.
You know what I'm saying? I understand that. And then Keys knows, like, if he made something, he'll be like, hey, Mike, he'll call me and be like, I think you can, do something. Because my job to me is to get the artist to do the song.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's our dynamics. We can make music equally.
Got it.
But as a team, my job is to make sure we get a song out of the artist.
Right.
Because we can play 1,000 beats and do all that, but if you don't get no song, it's kind of a waste of time.
Yeah, I couldn't get Nip to rap. That was like impossible for me.
Why not?
Say check. Last
I don't know, because it's like, I don't know. Like there was times where I would play him the beats, but it's just like me playing the beat. He takes it different from when Mike plays it. When Mike plays it, it's just.
It's because I spent way more time. Like, Nip would pick me up every day from my house before we go to the studio.
Word.
So we spent a lot of time together. So, and we're both Leos.
Got it.
Yeah,
so I started understanding him. So, like I said, part of it is we used to have to trick him to do little certain things to make it work. So we'll give you an example, like Sucker Proof. That song, like, Keys was starting the beat and I heard him and I stopped him. And I made Nip come in the room, and I was like, man, I tricked him. I'm like, man, you're not a real gangster if you don't rap on this, And then he was like, what do you mean I'm not a real gangster? And
what?
If you listen to the lyrics, he's going off.
Yeah.
And he's basically talking shit to us, like, what do you mean?
Right.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's good. That's really good.
Jeez,
I like that. Is there anybody else any other artists that you've had to use psychology on?
I mean, pretty much all the artists.
All of them.
I feel like all the artists, because
Dom for sure.
Dom
for
oh
sure.
Oh my God, man.
Shout out to Dope. It's Dom.
Yeah.
Motherfucking Dom Kennedy.
It's like I said, you just got to know when to attack the situation.
Got it.
And Dom's a Leo too.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to know when to say when it makes sense and then when it don't make sense, because he's a very opinionated person.
Yeah, very.
So you got to know how to move. But for us, we've been around him so long.
You can do it.
we're finally at a point to where we've adjusted to each other, and Dom is like, I really trust you guys. We've spent so much time together.
So what's funny is that
go ahead.
I'm glad you're not giving it like the jewels away, because he might be watching this and he'll be like, oh, okay, that's the trick right there. I ain't doing that next time. You say that?
No, I was gonna ask you about speaking of Dom. I gotta ask you about what's the name of the song? I'm drawing a blank right now.
Designer?
No, with Dom and Belly.
Oh,
you talking about
Double Up.
Double Up.
Double Up. Wow.
Bro, so I can't believe I drew a blank on that. Double Up. I used to hear stories about that song being played on repeat in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm talking about for hours.
Yeah.
Is that's true?
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's true. That was one of them songs. That song wasn't even supposed to make the album.
Word.
Like, Nip had cut it off at the last minute. Like, yeah, this is not going on there. We was like,
What?
No.
What?
way.
For real?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Pull out
What
with
was
your
his
psychology
thought
tricks.
process behind that?
Well, you know, with sampling clearance, there was a little sample in there. It was like a Mary J. Blige sample in there, and we found out at the last minute it turned in the album. So, you know, he didn't want no hiccups. So he's like, well, it's not on there.
Right.
And we was like, nah, like, this is a very important song. So it's funny you say that, like, how you play it a million times and then you don't put it on the album.
Yeah,
We're like, no, this has to go on the album.
Right.
So you guys didn't know it was a sample on there?
I mean, we did. That was one of the beats we didn't make.
Oh, okay.
But
Got it.
but
Mhm.
we produced the record. You know what I'm saying? We was a part of making sure the record got finished.
Gotcha,
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how we knew it was a Mary J. Blige sample in there. So when those things happen, either you fix it and change it, or it doesn't go on the album.
Pull it.
So that's where that psychology trick comes in.
Yeah, that
It's like,
goes.
no, it's
So it
going.
was like, man, like that one had to stay on there.
Yeah.
What's y'all favorite song on the album on Victory Lap?
I like Loaded Bases
Why?
just because, you know, CeeLo Green is one of my favorite artists.
Word. You don't hear that too often.
Yeah.
Like that whole Dungeon Family
Oh yeah.
camp. That was I grew up listening
Pull the
to
mic
that.
out of your face. Pull it down. Pull it. No, just pull the mic down. Just pull it straight down. Just pull it. Just pull the mic down. There you go.
Oh yeah. But yeah, CeeLo Green is on there, so I was like, yeah, this is fire.
Special, huh? Jeez.
CeeLo, you don't hear nobody ever talks about how dope
he's-
CeeLo is.
But Nip always was like, I'm getting CeeLo on my album.
Are you serious?
Yeah. He was like CeeLo and Stacey Barth was like the two people I always heard.
Really?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's so like you got to have a keen knowledge of like music and sonic to really understand that type of shit.
Yeah.
Now I'm curious to know, you know, in your catalogs throughout, you know, obviously the history you guys been doing this. Who's passed up on a beat, right? Passed up on maybe something that you've made and somebody else made it, whether it was hot, not hot, whatever. It was like somebody passed up on a beat and heard it on somebody else's shit. Has that ever happened to you guys? Because you guys work closely with people, so I don't know if you guys shop your beats like that, where it even come across that way.
I think that's happened multiple times. I
Yeah.
just can't remember.
Off top.
Yeah.
And it's like it's when an artist wants the record, they gonna show you they want it.
Mm.
So that's how we kind of just go by everything, you know, like because music is an energy thing. So you know, one day they might be excited to do music, and the next day they'll be like, I don't feel like doing music today.
Yeah.
So
Damn. No, because I'm curious. Is like, yo, maybe you had a beat pack for somebody. You play something and they're like, nah, I'm cool on that one. I want another one. And then they hear some shit that was on Victory, like they're like, fuck.
that always the artists always pass up on. Like I said, it's a timing thing, and we had to learn that too, because there was a lot of music that we, you know, give artists that they might had it on their hard drive for years,
Right.
and then they might been inspired, you know, to get on the song.
Okay, look, we can spend a long time talking about Victory Lap because that obviously is a classic and you guys had so much to do with it. But I do want to talk about Midnight Mirage, Volume 1, right?
Yeah.
Mike and Keys are now stepping into the forefront. You guys got this instrumental album that's phenomenal, by the way. I saw you guys press and play on it. And I told you, Michael, and I was like, yo, if I was still DJing it for the DJs out there, this is a hack. It's great for like wedding music like that. It's just a different vibe. Like so, think about wedding reception before the ceremony type thing. But you got slaps on there. It's a lot of things. So let's talk about Midnight Mirage Volume 1. What encouraged you guys to say, let's do an instrumental album now for the people to hear?
Well, it's funny you asked about artists passing up on beats. That this album is basically, you know, a lot of those beats, artists had those beats.
Wow.
So, you know, that was just us showcasing, you know, our musicianship as, you know, producers. You know, it's so much beat making. We wanted to show that we can produce, pick up instruments. Like a lot of those beats are us playing the instruments live.
Really?
Yeah, and everything, and learning, you know, trying to just get better. So we wanted to do the instrumental album to just, you know, everything don't need words. Sometimes you just need music,
Right.
you know? So I think that it was just a good thing for us. And all those beats, a lot of those artists are going to go back and see them beats and they
Like, damn.
email, text message.
Now, can they go back now that the album's out? Like, yeah, you know what, that Roy Ayers, man, let me go on and get that. Or, you know what I'm saying, the different, you know, obviously the tracks that you have on there, are they still up for grabs, or it's a no-go at this point?
I mean,
You got to get it cleared now.
yeah.
Right price.
Yeah.
Hello. Jeez, man.
That's crazy. Yeah, now, hey, to yesterday's price,
Ain't today's
Yeah.
price.
is not today's price. What's the most surprising thing that's like the most surprising person that's tapped in with y'all? Like you wasn't like that kind of threw you off. Like, damn, they know who we are, or they hit up for a session or for a pack.
Well, recently, Mint Condition.
What?
Mint Condition.
Yeah, which is crazy because that's like, you know, we really grew up on Mint Condition as kids. So that was crazy on some, you know, back in the day in music, credits was everything.
Right.
So I know everybody and what they did. So to see that is kind of like on a music standpoint, not even, you know, that means like we're working on like we're getting to the level of being respected on a musical level. So
sure.
I felt like that was real cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I would want to say Dr. Dre.
Oh, yeah.
Word.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that, but
you know what I mean?
That's big.
he actually came to the studio when we like around the same time we was doing Crenshaw and all that. He had came to the studio and show love.
Damn.
But yeah,
That was the I always forget that.
Did you freak out?
low key, yeah.
You was able to compose.
Cause I was making a beat and they was telling me like, "Yo, Dr. Dre about to pull up." I'm like, "Yeah, right, y'all tripping."
Right.
But he ended up pulling up, and I was just like,
Oh, shit.
"Yo, this is really happening."
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
He's over there with the mouse.
I'm glad I left
Yeah,
Sacramento
right,
for
yeah,
this
yeah.
shit.
Shit, let me go and hit the Pro Tools real quick. Damn, though. So, I mean, but you able to hold your composure in those big moments like that, and obviously deliver and show people what you got, man. And that's an amazing thing that obviously helps out with the confidence, but shows like, yo, we're here to stay. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anybody that you haven't gotten a chance to work with that y'all it's on the bucket list?
Probably Drake.
Yeah.
Somebody like,
Now, are you cool with sending him the email, or do you want to get in there?
I mean, an artist like that, it don't matter. You just
go.
gotta give him
Hey,
the music.
yeah, we can
He's so
FaceTime.
good, he gonna figure it out. He'll figure it
So
out.
you don't got to trick Drake.
Nah, you ain't got to trick Drake.
Now, Yellow Minds. Yellow, that one reminds me of Quick's Groove.
Mhm.
It reminds
Yeah.
if it's like I'm a big DJ Quick fan.
Yeah.
What is Quick's?
He's a DJ Quick stan.
Yeah.
I don't say stan. I'm a fan. I respect Quick or whatever. So, but I hear what's your influence? Has Quick influenced you guys growing up? And do you hear that when you hear Yellow as well? Is that something that kind of in the back of your mind, or just like, oh no, I never even thought about it like that?
Well, you remember when y'all used to come to our studio? We had a studio with DJ Quick.
yeah.
You know, DJ Quick and T Fly.
right,
So
right.
that was,
Wow.
he's one of our senseis in the music game.
Wow.
You know, as a producer. So he taught me and Keys so much in that year span that I can't even explain. You know, it's priceless to be with DJ Quick every day and him seeing us work. Like, there would be times he'll see us. Like, I remember one time we was in the studio working with Jeremiah. And he seen that the mic wasn't set up and everything wasn't set up. And he sat us down and he was like, look, if you guys want to be great, first of all, you got to have your mic placed correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Just simple things like that.
He'll get you on the decibels and all that.
oh,
Man, it has
yeah,
to be
yeah.
at 0.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's real knowledgeable when it comes
Yeah,
to all that.
And
sure.
he showed us that he cared a lot. And, you know, at that time, when we had a studio with Quick, we were doing Casey Veggie's Life Changes, Crenshaw, and Get Home Safely all at the same time.
Wow.
Damn.
We did all that at one time.
I'm always curious about when you have multiple projects like that. How do you? I don't. Maybe my mind just doesn't go there. But how do you work on different projects at one point and not? I guess
I'll be using the same drums.
Yeah,
and
it's
shit.
like how do you not mix it up or make it sound like too similar. Like, what's the thought process behind giving the equal amount of attention to each project?
That's a tough question. I mean, we just go off of feeling, pretty much. Like, whatever feels good, we just follow that. We just follow what we feel and then try to emulate what we feel into the music.
And we try to never do the same thing twice.
Got it.
So when Head was like, use the same drums, we've never used the same, nothing in none of our music. It's always a new.
Do y'all want to dive into that? I don't know. I don't want to give away y'all sauce about the how y'all play y'all shit, and y'all want to talk about that?
No, we can bypass that shit. That's our sauce.
All right, I'm gonna leave that alone
because I'm trying to get a recipe.
No, I'm just saying that it's very impressive. When that was explained to me, like the method, I'm like, that's genius.
Well, I mean, really, part of our method is real simple. I mean, that's how we became close with 1500. You know, they're one of the best musicians in the world. So our whole theory was like, instead of sampling off of a record, we'll sample 1500. They're equal to the record. So that was, when he's saying the secret, that was really like our start of creating a sound.
The sample themselves.
Yeah. So, you know, we'll take a rehearsal that 1500 did and sample that. Once we start getting placements, we like, oh, it works. You know what I'm saying? So that's like our creative process.
How do you name beats? That's a weird.
That's a great question.
I'm gonna tell you why, because back in the day, I was not good at all. I used to produce, but I used to hate naming beats. How do you guys figure out what I'm gonna name this beat?
I mean, when we make beats, we watch movies and watch sports. So, like, we kind of just name it off that. Like, I don't know, like the beat 3 points off the
album.
I was watching basketball.
He's like, all right.
So I was just like, that's the first thing that came into mind. Like, I'm gonna name it 3 points.
And usually the artists use the title
of
the name of the beat, which is crazy all the time, because, you know, when you're making a beat, usually, I know for me, whatever comes to my head, that's what I save it as.
Got you.
So if it's Snickers bar, I'm going to write Snickers bar and save it. And that's easy to remember.
Yeah.
What?
Damn.
Yeah.
That's
so we'll never name something twice. We try not to never name something twice.
That is crazy. Do you remember just something that's a well-known beat, right? What's the name of the beat? Let's just, for last time that I checked, right?
Yeah.
What was the name of the beat?
Last time that I checked.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because that song was just a hook when we did that. So it was just a hook. It wasn't no title or nothing. We just called it that. So
now, whose idea was it to call it that though? Like,
man,
that's what I'm saying. Where do you
know
with
with the songs they always get changed with songs.
Got it.
With the song title, you know, because usually the artist whatever the first thing that comes to their head for that song, that's what they'll name it, the title.
Got it.
What was the name of Rap Niggas?
The beat.
Rap Niggas version 12 or something. So
that's what I'm saying. How the fuck do you have a beat that you so? What makes you say I'm gonna name this beat Rap Niggas? Like, take me to that.
Because we did so many versions of that beat. That's why.
But the original Rap Niggas.
The original rap.
I don't even know what the original was. I couldn't tell you. I know it was called something else.
Snicker bar. That's what it was.
Snicker bar.
Snicker bar. Turning to Rap Niggas. Now, okay, I got another victory lap question because we just had Buddy on,
Mm-hmm.
and he was telling us that status symbol 3. He did a great impression of you, by the way.
Oh, he did. Yeah, he nailed his mic impression.
He said he said the moment that you called him and said you made the album, bro, but he said status symbol 3 was originally his song.
Every song that he does always thinks it's his song. If you want to be honest, that was our song.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And
Really?
Yes. And
Fact check.
Buddy always comes in
Buddy.
and just, does some random stuff, go to sleep and leave.
Uh-huh.
So in this point, that's what he did. So he didn't hear the record. So, we got a studio with Nipsey.
Yeah.
So that morning, that's the first thing I do when I wake up. I play that song. So it was like I called Buddy, like, yeah, it's over. Nip is already like, this is my song.
Congratulations.
He already
bro.
labeled it status symbol 3,
yeah,
everything.
Yo, he said you called him congrats. You made the album, bro.
Yeah.
It's my song.
That's
Yeah.
my song. That's crazy.
Now,
That's interesting.
another last one on, and then we'll move on. But dedication.
Yeah.
That's obviously a fan favorite. I'm not even gonna give it the credit to K-Dot, but that's a huge record, like dedication. Was that song always like I've heard different stories. Was that song always intended for Kendrick on the feature, or was it Jay-Z or
No. Nobody. There wasn't even, that song wasn't even supposed to be on the album.
really?
We made
Yes.
that last minute. That was the
that
last
got
minute.
made last minute.
Really?
Yeah, because Nip did there's 4 verses to dedication.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, so he rearranged the verses, and then when Kendrick rapped on it, he did a new verse.
So Nip did his verse after Kendrick did his.
I think Nip only had 1 verse.
Yeah.
And then Kendrick did it, then he finished it. Same thing with last time that I checked.
Yeah.
I heard Rance say that he used Jedi Mind Trip
Yeah.
with that. He said he let Nip hear K-Dot on there or say, yo, you gotta deliver with this one because Kendrick's on there. And then obviously you said he just gave another
Yeah,
verse
he
to
went
it.
back. He had to go because he's
Wow.
like, oh, this is serious. And the funny thing about that record is Nip had gave Kendrick keys
Oh,
to the
keys
city.
to the city,
Nipsey
yeah.
had gave Kendrick keys to the city.
Really?
We went behind his back and sent Kendrick Axel Foley, who, produced a lot
Yeah,
of songs
yeah,
with
yeah.
Kendrick.
Mm-hmm.
We was all in the studio one day and we was pressing him like, man, send him the record. Like, just text it to him. Like,
Yeah.
what is he going to tell you?
Yeah.
And I remember Kendrick text back and was like, new Nip, ? That's all he said.
Wow.
Yeah. And then we got the verse. True story.
That's crazy. See, now that's some shit that nobody know. That's big. Is there anything like what's the fondest memories that you have on the come up? Not necessarily once you establish and or what'd you say? Somebody's like different people that you respect are tapping in with y'all, right?
Mm-hmm.
But on the come up, some of my best memories is when I was broke
Yeah.
and like we was like, struggling a little bit, like a lot.
Mhm.
A lot of bit.
Yeah.
Struggling a lot of bit. As far as production wise, because I remember we had Nip on the show. This is why I'm asking you this. We had Nip on the show and he's talking about how Jay Stone used to record him. They had a sock over the mic,
Mm-hmm.
some shit like that.
Yeah.
Is there ever, what's a memory that y'all got where y'all had to rig up some equipment? Perhaps, maybe, take something that didn't belong to you to produce,
I mean,
anything like that?
Get home
Oh,
safely.
why you look at Keith?
Yeah, get home
Keys
safely.
stole-
I was about to tell this story real quick.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
We had like Mike said, we had a studio with DJ Quick, right? So he
You
was
stole some shit from DJ?
no,
Quick?
never.
Either we did.
Yeah.
But I'm saying he would bring like El DeBarge through, and different artists like legends.
Legends.
Yeah.
So I remember this one time I was making a beat in our room. We didn't have no mic. We didn't have nothing. El DeBarge is like, yo, I like that beat, man. Can I record? I had to tell him like, I don't have no mic. This is El DeBarge.
You fucked that up?
Yeah.
Cause we didn't have no like it was grind season. Like we didn't have no.
I'm unhooking some
So
shit
what
in
happened?
your studio.
He didn't record. And you know what? And that was the first time that really happened. We used to have a studio with Be Real and Exhibit. And
Wow.
Corrupt. This was the first lesson In production 101, Corrupt came to the studio. Mind you, we love anything West Coast music. We love it.
Yeah.
Right.
So Corrupt going to the studio. You know, in our mind, we're young. We're thinking, oh, he wants to listen to some beats.
Mm-hmm.
Nah. He was like, load it up.
Load it up. He said, "Where's the mic?
Where's the
Wow.
mic?" And guess what? We didn't have no mic. No nothing. And
We-
guess
yeah,
what?
we
And so
wasn't ready.
from that day on,
You said
I
never again.
remember that day like it was yesterday. I'm like, man, we're not producers. We didn't record him. So it doesn't matter if you have the tight beat. If you can't get the
You
song,
can't get that.
it doesn't matter. And one thing about artists, once they're in the vibe, you got to get it
Go.
immediately. If you don't get it immediately, you will never get it back.
You can't say come back next week.
No,
or-
that-
Nah,
it's
nah,
over.
I got
that ain't
another
happening.
set. So it happened with Corrupt and Elder Barge.
Yeah. Corrupt happened early in our career.
Oh, so how would you feel when it happened again?
Elder Barge, that wasn't supposed to happen. But you know, we was broke.
Right,
we didn't have
right,
no money. I mean,
right.
at the time, we was borrowing equipment from our friends to make it happen. Like this is documented. There's video of us working on Get Home Safely with Dom with, nothing. Not even a couch, barely a couch in there, but we made it happen because we love the music.
Production question for you, then we'll wrap up. For all the young producers that's coming up, any advice? One, and then two, do y'all have a problem with loops?
I'll start with the advice first. Just continue to be yourself, and the music comes first. All that other stuff is just for the birds. Just work on your craft first. That's what matters.
Mm-hmm. And then you said with the loops.
How do y'all feel about loops?
I mean, music loops is sampling. So, I mean, however the music gets done, I don't think people care as long as it sounds good.
Facts.
So at the end of the day, whatever your ingredients is to create the music, if it's a loop, if you know how to play, everybody's the way they do it is different. You know what I'm saying? That's why we collab with certain people because they can do stuff that we can't do. And that's, but loops is part of the creation. So I think the business part of it is tricky to people, but the creation part is never tricky.
I believe I asked you this when we did the producer. Shout out to Ali. We were out there with
Where
I'm
we
talking
was at
The NAM.
At the
NAM
NAM
show.
show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
NAM show.
Yeah.
But how would you describe Mike and Keys sound? Like, what's the sound for Mike and Keys?
I would say, we from the West Coast, so I would say it's a West Coast sound. We're inspired by, like you said, DJ Quick and Dre and all those guys. So it's just the futuristic sound of like we're those babies.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just trying to bring that back, that energy back.
Oh, another thing, sorry, because y'all got accolades too. How does it feel? Did y'all know you were gonna be like nominated for Grammys and awards and shit like that? How did that feel? The first time.
The first one was dope because you don't expect nothing like that. You just work. Like, you don't really pay attention to it happens.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a great feeling to be nominated and be recognized, for quality music.
Right.
Because when I think of the Grammys, it's like the highest of accolades for music.
Right.
Mhm.
So that's, you don't prepare it, you don't think about it, you just make music until something happens.
Do you have a favorite song off the album that people can obviously check out right now? Midnight Mirage, Volume 1. And will we be getting Volume 2, 3, 4, 5? Is like, are you guys doing this as a series so people can obviously hear the production?
For sure. Yeah, we starting on Volume 2
Already.
yeah.
Jeez. So rappers, if you pass up on some beats, just know Volume 2.
And don't wait till it's too late.
Yeah.
Or you can and just pay the price
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that
Why
too.
not?
We not
Why
mad
not?
at that.
at all.
All right, so look, before we let y'all go, we got the homegrown head scratcher.
Why you gotta look at him like that? Say that too.
Yo,
Damn, you gotta give him that.
So, just so you know, these are elementary school test questions, okay? Mainly 5th grade. And what we do is we have our listeners they call up and they guess whether you got the answer right or wrong, and they win tickets.
Mhm.
So even if you don't know the answer, take your time, think about it, and guess. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Who want to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, Mike. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. First question for Mike of Mike and Keys. How many bones does a giraffe have in its neck?
Many bones.
Gotta guess.
Man.
That's a wild question.
I was just gonna say 2. I don't know.
That's wrong.
I know. I don't know.
I know.
How many bones?
7,
7. Okay.
which is the same amount as a human.
Oh.
All right, Keys, you up? You ready?
Mm-hmm.
You got me over here counting my neck and shit.
Like,
Okay.
All right, Keys. How many days does it take for the moon to orbit the Earth?
How many days?
You got this, Keys. Come on, you got this.
Just one, right?
No.
That's a fast ass moon, my nigga. One day?
No.
How many?
It's 28 days.
I thought it was
28
30.
days.
All right, last one. Who
That's
want
a
the last
fast ass
one?
goddamn moon. Shit.
Keys, you want the last one, or Mike, you want the last one?
He's gonna have the last one.
All right.
I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah. Now you see how fast he passed the buck?
He's got it.
That is-
Yeah.
All right. That was a chest pass, too. All right, Keys, you ready?
I think so.
All right. What was the name of the writing system used by the ancient Egyptians?
Man, I don't know.
You got that.
Just
Keys.
guess.
Come on. Guess.
Hieroglyphics.
Boom.
That's right.
There it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, your shot.
See?
Go out.
It's take a little bit of confidence, just a little bit. God damn.
Mike and Keys, the year can't end without y'all doing what? This can be music related, life related, goals, whatever. The year can't end without Mike and Keys doing what?
Giving back to the community.
Okay.
Giving back to the community. Specifically, what do you want to give back?
Information about the music industry, about how to make it in general.
Mhm.
Okay. Got it.
Because the information definitely, I mean, now that we look back at our career, if we would have had a little bit more information,
Mm-hmm.
we would have definitely made a lot more decisions, you know.
Mhm.
And the thing that we would tell is that be patient.
Be patient.
That's the number one, I
Yeah.
think, key in, I think, anything, trying to do anything great.
Right.
And that's something we learned, obviously, doing the victory lap, is like, just be patient.
Mhm.
And if you do it correctly and you're honest and it's from your heart, then it should never be bad.
And have a mic.
Yeah.
And have
Yeah.
a mic
Yeah,
in
have
the
a mic.
studio.
Got it.
Be ready.
Listen,
Young
Be
producer.
Let me
prepared.
tell you something. Any producer, if you're trying to make a name and you're trying to play artist beats, because you can't play artist beats from your room. So if the artist is feeling your beats and he ready to record, if you don't have an engineer, you either better know how to record or you're not gonna have a song.
Word.
Mm.
That's if I give you any advice, just know that.
Have a mic and be able to be ready to record.
Have a mic and be able to record.
Yeah.
For sure.
Man, we appreciate y'all coming on through, man. It's very
Appreciate you,
informative, man. I'm glad we got a chance to do this, and I'm so glad you guys got this album out for people to actually hear again. Midnight Mirage Volume 1.
Mhm.
Mike and Keys, the homegrown homies. Chuck Dizzle, DJ Head. We'll catch y'all next time.
Yes.